Parashas Mikeitz, Chamishi. The Aliyah starts out with Yosef telling them he would allow one brother to remain behind while they went home to get their youngest brother and to give the provisions. We find very curiously that the brothers begin to argue. Were they guilty? They started to look back into the whole idea of Yosef HaTzadik and what they did. And when he pleaded to each and every one of them, the Medrash tells us something fascinating, that Yosef fell at the feet of each of the brothers when they were ready to sell them. Ulay yochos, maybe you're going to have pity, maybe you're going to have rachmanut. None of them did. So they began now to start to talk about it. Maybe they were guilty. And it's interesting, they didn't realize that Yosef HaTzadik had understood what they were saying. Yosef turned away and began to cry. And when he turned back to them, he took Shimon and put him in prison. There we see something interesting, that when one of them opened the saddlebag to give some food to his donkey, he saw all the money that they had given had been returned. In that moment, there was a great problem. Why? Because since Yosef instructed his own servants to put the money inside of the bag, all of a sudden they began to tremble. And they said, Mazos asa Elokim lanu. Oh no, what did they do? What happened? What did Hashem cause to be done? Because they realized if they were going to be caught with the money, what could happen to them? They could die. They could languish away in prison. Yaakov Avinu came. And Yaakov, when he heard everything that happened, he listened to the Shvatim. And he realized now one more was gone. Of course, we know, Ein Yisurin B'lo Avon. Nothing happens without a sin. When a person, chas v'sholom, receives a punishment, they have to attribute it to something. Maybe there's something that I did that wasn't correct. There was a person who came to me and he said that his parnasa had gone down. His livelihood began to go lower and lower and he doesn't know the reason for it. I ask him a very simple question. Are you careful to give maaser, to give tzedakah? He says, Rabbi, I tell you the truth, I used to be, but I haven't done it for a long time. I say, you should try. Maybe. That's the Eitzah. Why? Ein Yisurim B'lo Avon B'lo Chet. There is no Yisurim that happen without some type of Chet. Yisurim are sent to us in order that we wake up and we understand that we have to be mefashfesh b'masav. We have to inspect our deeds to see if we're doing the right thing. And so, Yaakov Avinu said, Yosef is gone, Shimon is gone, and now you want to take away Binyamin? We also learned that the famine itself continued to get worse. Yaakov Avinu wanted that they should bring more food back, but Yehuda reminded Yaakov Avinu that they could not return without Binyamin. Yaakov asked, why did you reveal to Yosef that you had Binyamin back at home? The Mefarshim all explain it, that at this point that they were scared. So sometimes when a person is afraid, they reveal more than they want to. Yaakov Avinu sent along gifts and all types of things and told his son to take double the money, return all that they had gotten. He said, may Hashem grant you mercy. May you return with Yehuda and Binyamin. The Aliyah ends off by telling us they returned to Mitzrayim and they all stood before Yosef. How interesting it is that before a person ever goes on a trip, they need to have a bracha. They need to have a tefillah, something that is going to protect them. Certainly tefillah saderach. Even better, some people read Parshas Vayishlach before they go on a journey. Or an individual should get a bracha from a tzaddik. I once went on a very dangerous journey on behalf of the Khal. I only agreed to the organization that wanted to send me if I could go and get a bracha from the great Rosh Yeshiva Rav Pam, Zecher Tzadik Livracha. And indeed, I did get the bracha. Many, many years ago, I also, before I went to the former Soviet Union on behalf of the Agudas Yisrael, I wouldn't go unless I would have a bracha. And I got a bracha from the great Rabbi Moshe Feinstein, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, Posek Ador, who told me, Shomer Yisrael lo yanum. The protector of Klal Yisrael doesn't sleep.